Last year with the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold revitalized his career with Kevin O'Connell. But now Sam Darnold is in Seattle with the Seattle Seahawks. But the question on today's episode for Sam Darnold is, will he return to being a subpar quarterback now that he is with Mike McDonald, who is a defensive coach? And then to end the show, we talk a little bit about Cam Ward, a guy that nobody is really talking about as the number one overall pick, but he's out there calling the Titans offense mid. Y'all know we gonna talk about it and break it all down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Welcome to your number one spot for all NFL news and content, NFL Central.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back into another episode of NFL Central, your number one spot for everything NFL. I'm your host here, Bobby, joined by Steve-O. So if y'all tuned in and and talking about football, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel because you wouldn't get another better location to go ahead and talk football. We talk it how it's supposed to be talked about. So hit that like button and subscribe. Steve-O, what's the word though?
That's
So
good.
hey, my man Sam Darnold. Hey, he been traveling around the NFL just for the last 2 seasons. Went on ahead this past season and ended up with the Minnesota Vikings to where he led that team to a playoff appearance. Just to provide some context, my man Sam Darnold with the Minnesota Vikings and Kevin O'Connell led the Vikings to the playoffs with a 14-3 record. But in the last 2 weeks, I know we just can't predicate everything on the last 2 weeks, but they speak a lot of volumes, Steve-O. In the last week of the season for the division crown, they went against the Detroit Lions to where he led them to a loss, 31-9 versus the Detroit Lions. Then in the opportunity to bounce back in the playoffs versus the Los Angeles Rams, he lost 27-9 in the wild card round. But I gotta ask you, brother, can we see Sam Darnold return to a subpar quarterback? Now he's no longer with Kevin O'Connell, and now he's joining Mike McDonald, who is now a defensive coach.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, coming out of USC, he was touted as a possible guy that we thought was going to be probably elite quarterback when it's all said and done. It was going to be a good guy. So that I think he still flashes that potential every year since he's been in the league. But I think what the thing is, it I want to say yeah. I honestly want to say because with the league, anything is possible. We've seen people catch fire. We've seen people improve their game. But at the end of the day, I do think I want to say a good 80% of that season of his good success was predicated on his coach Kevin McConnell and the talent that he had on the Vikings. And the talent nor the coaching is the same where he's at now in Seattle. And so that's my thing. It'd be one thing if he's going to a team that had a little bit better talent or vice versa, a little better coaching. But it's a negative. He going to a negative. The only positive in the situation is he got paid out of it. So, is it possible? Yeah, he's in. But the thing is, he's in a tough division, so it's going to be very difficult for him to do so.
I think it's definitely one of those things you talk about when it comes down to Sam Darnold, especially because when you look at the game against the Detroit Lions, he went 18 of 41 for 166 yards. That is terrible. And then I think in the playoff round, he went like 20 for 40 for a little bit over 200 yards versus the Los Angeles Rams, which is unacceptable as well. And you talk about a guy in Kevin O'Connell who has had astronauts come out and performed for him pretty damn well. We didn't talked about this extensively to the point to where everybody who's a consistent listener know that we talked about Kevin O'Connell and what he can bring to a quarterback, especially for the Minnesota Vikings. But talking about Sam Darnold, you look at his history outside of last year has been a bit questionable. Well, not a bit questionable. It's been very, very questionable. And I understand.
It ain't been questionable. It's been
Yeah,
not good.
facts. Like I think that when you look at it, I think that you look at Jackson Smith and Jigba on the offensive side, you say that's a good wide receiver. You look at Cooper Cup, you say that's a good wide receiver, but how much juice does he have left? You look at the defense and say that may be the saving grace to provide some type of stability for him. But when it comes down
That O
to it,
line.
yeah, to your point, that O line, and to see if my man Sam Darnold could absolutely do something, yeah, it's tough. And right now, Steve-O, when we talk about the division within itself, I got the Rams ahead of the Seattle Seahawks. And personally, and not a lot of people are talking about them, I got the Arizona Cardinals above the Seattle Seahawks as well. And
I ain't mad at
they
that.
fighting for third when it comes to positioning with the San Francisco 49ers. And right now, you have to give the nod to Shanahan over McDonald, right?
Of course. Of course. The track record shows it. He may not be able to win the big game, but he getting to that motherfucker consistently. Like so, like we always gonna go with him. But yeah, I agree with him with everything you said. Like when it comes down to Sam Darnold, it's all about consistency. And then, but my thing is, even if he is consistent, I just don't know if he has enough on this team to be consistent enough. Like I still think there's gonna be. He's on a situation. He's on the team where he's gonna have to win a lot of games because of him, because they don't have the talent that Minnesota had. So that's my thing. Is he gonna be able to step in those 4 to 5 games where he got to be the one, be the reason why they win?
Yeah, I think that's like I said. I think the saving grace may be the defense to help them keep them in games, and then you want to see what the offensive coordinator is able to do with them because Rick Woolen, he's a player. Devin Witherspoon is a player. They picked up DeMarcus Lawrence. He's a player. Leonard Williams is not too
Mm-hmm.
bad. So the defense looks pretty damn good. You got Byron Murphy. You got a number of other players on the defensive side, you know what I'm saying, being contributors based on a defensive head coach. It's all going to come down to what he can do offensively with the weapons that he have. And just we talked about it, I believe last week or so, that they let go Noah Fant. And I'm not saying Noah Fant was the best, but when you start subtracting players, you wonder if those players that are now expected to fill the void can go out there and absolutely fill the void. So for me, I'm gonna look
Mm-hmm.
at it for what it really is.
That's say
Yeah,
though.
I think that is tough. You see, if you look at the schedule, Steve O, this is the schedule, you know what I'm saying, when we going into 2025, once the season starts, you looking at you kicking the season off against the 49ers. Then you got the Steelers. Saints, I ain't too worried about that. But the Cardinals, another division matchup. The Bucks, the Jags, that's a push. The Texans, the Commanders, Arizona again, then the Rams. So the schedule is favorable if we're keeping it real. The schedule doesn't seem like it's going to be a major
If they
problem.
get out, but the thing is, they gonna have to jail quickly, and they gonna have to win them games
I agree
early
with
on.
that.
Because if they don't, that back end.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a fair thing. I think that's pretty much fair because at the back end, you get teams like the Vikings, the Falcons, who I think is going to be good, the Colts, who I think is a really good team. It's just that they got to figure out the quarterback, and then I think they can really contend for the playoffs in the AFC South. But and then the Rams again,
Yeah.
then the Panthers, who I don't, me personally, I don't look at the Panthers as a pushover. Like that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm
I don't
myself.
think nobody in this division is a real
I agree.
pushover for real. Like this is a Like this is the type of division where they gonna beat each other ass all season, and even the best team ain't gonna make it because they didn't whoop each other ass all season.
It's strange, right? When we always talk about the South divisions, the AFC and the NFC, we be like, yeah, we can pretty much predict those winners. But when you talk about any other division, you be like, man, damn. In the AFC West, the Cardinals could very well win it, or the Rams. Or when you talk about the NFC North, you could say, damn, Detroit, they didn't had it the last few years. They could maybe do it, but then teams like Chicago or Minnesota could very well rise up and say, hey, this our shit. But when it comes to the South,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a bit different. But for the Seahawks,
It's the same. It's a fucking. They use the same ribbon in that motherfucker in the South.
yeah, it's crazy.
'Cause there's gonna be the same
Yeah,
motherfuckers.
it's crazy for that one. But hey, let us know how y'all feeling about that. Do you believe that Sam Darnold will return to being a subpar quarterback in Seattle? Let us know how y'all feeling about that. Steve-O, before we get up out of here, we got to talk a little bit about Cam Ward with the Tennessee Titans. Hey, Steve-O, just real quick before we get into the actual question. Why hasn't there been a lot of talk about the number one overall pick in Cam Ward, in your opinion? Just real quick.
Because Shador got picked in the fifth
Mm.
round.
I think that's fair. Quick and simple. I think that's fair, quick and simple. But hey, let's talk a little bit more
And I had to say because Jackson Dart went to New York.
for a trade up.
That was two. Yeah, that was just two things we knew for a fact we didn't see
I
happen.
agree with that. I agree with that. I definitely think that everybody expected Cam Ward to go and get selected by Tennessee, number one overall. Most of us thought that, or at least me, I can't speak for everybody else. I thought that Shador was going early in the first round, if not early, at least later in the first round to
Yeah, I knew.
Pittsburgh.
I just knew he wasn't making past
That's what I
Saints. I just
thought.
knew he wasn't.
But then, hey, the NFL told us how they really feel. And then, shit, we had to just go ahead and go with it, right? But hey, my man's Cam Ward pretty much came out and he talked about the offense, talking about how he put up in this during training camp. We know that initially in training camp, Cam Ward was pretty much slotted to go against a guy like Will Levis, but then Will Levis went down with a season-ending injury, and now Cam Ward is pretty much the man. We already kind of knew that, but he's the man. But they asked him some questions about how he feeling about the offense, and he kept it real with him, saying that the offense was mid. Going on to say this, I just think that we're very mid right now, up front to the receivers in every position. But at the end of the day, it all starts for me. I just don't think we're at where we need to be, but we got a little bit of time. How you feeling about the young man's
Hmm.
honesty?
I mean, if you know anything about him, that's not something surprising. That's something he said. He's brutally honest. He's not gonna sugarcoat it, and he's hard on himself. So, and he's not going. Like he can almost be a little deceitful because you can't really. He's so brutally honest within himself, and he hold his team to such a standard that he'll come into a season like when anybody be like, "We ain't that good," but it's like he expect to be okay. I'm ready to be in the playoffs, but motherfucker, you a
Right.
rookie. So like I think he kind of has that confidence and that mindset. So he thinks of himself and his team up to place. And like he know what he know what when a team and a system is rolling. He just put up 4,000 yards in Miami in his
Yeah.
first year there, and that was just that's learning a new system, and he know how to gather the troops and play with people that's not even the best team, quality talent because he played at Washington State for 2
Yeah.
years. So like you can't really like he know mid when he see it because he played at Washington State. It's a mid that's gonna be across Washington State at some point.
All right, just real quick. Do you think he tempering a little bit expectations? Because I think, well, he did speak on the offense because I think that he got some players on the defensive line. That's just me personally. But when it comes to
Yeah,
the
we know
offense,
that.
that's what he was talking about. So disregard the question.
Yeah.
Disregard the question. But I think that you
Mm.
could feel that way. You could feel that way. You looking at Tony Pollard as your running back. You're looking at Spears as your running back. You bring in your own guy Restrepo, who's gonna get a little bit of reps while training camp is
That
going on.
motherfucker ain't making the lamb team.
You never been a fan of him, really. You got Calvin
He
really.
run a
Yeah,
four
he a
eight.
little slow. Well, not a little slow, but slow for a wide receiver. And he got to play the slot because he's not that big. So typically, slot players
You
in the
can't be no
NFL is
right. You
fast.
can't be
So
right. You can't be no 4'8" slot. Fuck.
unless you got great route running skills to get separation. Yeah,
And even
I
then,
don't think
still.
he's that great at route running. I think he's good, solid, you know what I'm saying, but not great. Yeah, because you look at some of the slower receivers and like, let me know if it's a good. Let me know if it's a good name to throw out there. I don't necessarily.
No.
No, I'm just
Don't
saying.
do it.
I'm just saying,
Don't do
like
it.
not speed wise, but his route running ability makes up for a little bit of the speed. I think of Devontae Adams, not the fastest,
No.
but the route running. You say Restrepo is not even
He
close,
ain't. No.
right? Not
No.
even close, right? Exactly.
No.
So
That's my thing. Like I think, that's the thing. People just be, he leading the records in fucking Miami. He was there for 6 years. You better, nigga. Yeah, no, that don't mean you good.
for real though. But I think that I respect the kid's honesty. I respect the young man's honesty simply because you can't be satisfied in this NFL. You cannot be sat if you want to be great in sports, you can't be satisfied. Because you look at some of the greatest, Michael Jordan. He said, bro, I know I won 3 in a row. It ain't good enough. You look at Tom Brady. I know I won early in my career. It's not good enough. Patrick Mahomes. I know I won these many championships early on. It's not good enough. You look at Jalen Hurts, who just won a championship. Him and his team, they coming into 2025 speaking as if they didn't win in February. They going into this season that starts in September and acting as if they just didn't win about 6 months ago. Crazy work, right? So you look at all this and you say you can never be satisfied. That's why I'm on the side of that. If Coach Callahan coaches up Cam Moore right, if they build around him right, this young player who has overcome all these obstacles throughout his football playing career, he could be a really good quarterback in this league. I don't know if that's going to come into championships or a bunch of playoff appearances. I don't know. But I think he could be really good in this league if the Tennessee Titans do right by him, for sure.
Yeah, and everything you said, it shows in his character. Like this is a guy that he had the opportunity to be leaving college early when he was at Washington State in his junior year, and stay and leave and go to. And he was already listed as a first round pick. He said, "Nope, I did. I feel like I could put some better tape out there." Went back to Miami, got a bag with it as well. Put up better tape. Look at him, number 1 pick. He's constantly done it. Just like I said, went for Washington, worked his way up. Wasn't I don't even think he was a star,
Wasn't
any
no
star when he was
star.
in high school.
Crazy.
Got to Washington State, ended and finished with in Michigan in
That's
Miami.
crazy work right there. That's crazy work right there. And that speaks to his character. That speaks to his volume, like you've been preaching the whole entire time talking about him. It's just like a lot of those people you root for. And we'll see what he's
Mm-hmm.
able to do this season. Hey, Steve-O, they get a lot of betting people, some for my betters out there, they got the Tennessee Titans at 5.5. You going over or under? I'm going over. Lads. I'm going
Under.
over. I'm going over. I just think that he might struggle in a lot of games this season. But it's going to be some surprises because the defense, in my opinion, is going to keep them in games. I understand they took a couple losses, you know what I'm saying, especially with Harold Landry. They took a major loss, but they still got some pieces there. I believe they can go ahead and shock a few people and at least get 6. That's it.
Maybe. I don't know. I think it's gonna be frustrating as hell. I think it's gonna be a lot of drop
Who?
passes.
That's
like,
fair.
like he used the pressure like that. He had no line, but it's gonna be a different type of
Yeah,
pressure. So like, yeah, I think it's gonna be frustrating more than anything. Like, I think it's. I don't think he gonna look bad, but it's gonna be more frustrating things that you see.
understood. Understood. I ain't mad at it. But hey, man, we about to get up out of here. You got anything left?
Nah.
Well, all right, y'all. That is the end of today's episode. Go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And for those topics that we discussed about Sam Darnold and Cam Ward, keeping it real about his Tennessee offense, let us know how y'all feeling down in the comment box. Leave us some comments or concerns. Let us know how y'all feeling, and y'all can even go down there and ask a couple questions. But hey, that is it from us today. We appreciate y'all, and y'all already know we're gonna catch y'all on the next for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks